you ever get denied from a credit card application, you should always, and I mean always, call the reconsideration line. About a week ago, I applied for the Chase Freedom Flex. I was received a message saying that they'll respond in 7 to 10 days, and over the internet, such phrasing usually means that I'll be denied and I'll receive a letter stating the facts. So after waiting a couple days, I called the status checkup line for Chase, and yet again it told me the same thing. It didn't give me any reasons to do so. So I ended the call and I started the process of calling the reconsideration line. At first you talk to a bot, and then after submitting my social so they would know what application I was talking about, the bot then transferred me to a rep. The first rep told me that I was denied, and I suspected that. After asking why, he said that my identity had to be verified, and I was quite surprised because I thought I had too little credit history, so this gave me a little hope. After answering a couple questions he gave me about my address, things like that, he then told me that I could consider talking to a second rep. I was then transferred. This second rep yet again told me to verify, but this one had the final say. So I verified my information. I let him know I was me. And after, talking politely, speaking properly, being nice and all, this guy approved me. He said, "Congrats, you received the Chase Freedom Flex." And after realizing that, I would have never been accepted if I had never called. They may have given me some random reason in the letter, but all I had to do was just verify my identity. This isn't actually my first credit card application with Chase, and I wonder what would have happened if I called the reconsideration line. At the time, I was a little embarrassed. I was feeling shy, so I didn't exactly call, but I did receive their letter. And this was back 3 months ago. And they told me that I was denied based on the reasons of not enough accounts open long enough to establish a credit history, my main concern, and an insufficient or no balance in Chase deposit or investment accounts. So my bank account did not have any recent deposits, which is true because I actually created a Chase checking account, Chase college checking account, because it has no fees, for the initial purposes of boosting my odds of getting a Chase credit card, because that actually massively helps. During the Freedom Flex application, the second rep asked me if I had a checking account, and I suspect that this was the biggest reason why he accepted me, as it's rather hard for getting any of the freedoms as your first credit card, or with little to no history, because this is actually my first credit card. But the other credit cards I have, the Student Discover and the Capital One Saver One for good credit, I've max had only like 2 months, and for the Capital One, it hasn't even appeared on my credit record yet. That's how short of an amount of time I have on it. But for the Chase Freedom Unlimited, I didn't get it. However, what if I had called the reconsideration line? Who knows? I could have addressed these concerns, actually. I could have deposited money. I thought what I had was enough. I had only like $300, wasn't enough. Although, if you do want a higher chance of getting the Chase credit card, then try the Freedom Rise. It's not a bad idea. It doesn't have no sign-up bonus, but it does have 1.5% cash back on all purchases, which is the only benefit it has. But that's actually higher than the Flex, so it's not bad to pair with the Flex, because the Unlimited is literally 1.5% cash back on all. And after that, the reconsideration line I called was the Doctor of Credit link, and I also, refound it on Reddit as well. However, there is reports of this being connected to the fraud department of Chase, and the support is maybe foreign workers, which sounds strange, even though this is like a more American-based company. And after, calling, the first rep verified my address. However, they wanted to also verify a code that they sent me, and I felt madly sussed out, because in that code the text message says Chase will never call you or text you to ask for this code, and this guy was asking me for this code. But after reading the reports on Reddit that it's totally part of Chase, that this is no concern, and after reading another post that they went through something similar and went through it, I went through it. I sent in the code like an idiot, but it turned out all well, because I turns out it was legit. I got the credit card application approved, and only the Chase guys could do that, of course. My thinking was that perhaps this Doctor of Credit link or number connected to the website was, one of the branches that were going to be more favorable. So it was pretty awesome, and it was, uncomfortable and, quite of a thrill just to oh my god, I'm giving these guys my account info. I'm literally gonna get scammed. I could have lost everything. After giving their code, I had a moment to think about it, because I needed a moment to think about it, because the guy asked me for it, and I was like, I even told him that the message says I shouldn't share it. And he's like, that's all right. If you feel uncomfortable, you can visit a branch. And then I told him, give me a minute to think about it. And during that, I was rushing to find any experience similar, and that's where I found it on Reddit. Some guy describing the same exact story as I was going through. And luckily it was safe. It was okay. It was just weirdly suspicious. Chase system literally mirrors a scam, but in the end it worked out just fine. I'm glad nothing happened. And during this, I look back and I already gave these guys my social. Even worse, worst case scenario. During the report, I even froze my credit. I was weirdly shocked, but everything ended up okay. So I'm happy about that. Thanks for watching, guys.